A man can dream.
A man can
Hey.
dream.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Puck and Stuff podcast. It's been a hot minute. T-Dog and I have been gone doing our own stuff, but now we are back for episode 25. I just also want to take a second here, since it's been 25 episodes, so thank you all for catching in on episodes. We much appreciate it. We love doing this, and I hope you guys are enjoying watching us do this. If you do, we much love a like, a subscribe, and maybe drop something in the comments to see what we do this summer. And Tristan, this episode is sponsored by, well, A Man Can Dream.
Well, a man can dream.
Oh, God, 25 episodes of that.
We are at a standpoint a little bit in the sports world. Now,
yes,
our
we are.
favorite sport, the NHL season, has come to an end, concluded with a Stanley Cup champion being decided last week there. The Colorado Avalanche beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 6. We will get to that pretty soon. Yeah. But before we get into any of that, just want to say, for all you Canucks out there, happy Canada Day. I know it's a bit late, but hope you enjoyed the nice day.
Happy 4th of July.
To you Americans too, right? For this is the 3rd, so yeah, tomorrow, happy 4th of July. Hopefully you guys are able to celebrate with your families there and have a good time. And hey, just lay back. I know it's been some tough years here, so let's have some fun, right? Anyways, back into what we need to get into with this content. Ultimately,
into the news.
I almost feel kind of glad that there's a little bit of a break from the NHL a little bit. You know, off season's really nice. And the speculation is great, and that's what keeps me intrigued. But a month away, just get to refresh. You know what I mean? To see how everything goes. It gets me really hyped for the next season.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love that part of off season. It gets you really hyped with all the stupid trade rumors people make, and it's also really interesting to see what other sports do for their off seasons, because I know the NBA is going through a complete frenzy right now in free agency. There's tons of trade rumors in NBA free agency right now, so gotta love that.
Yeah, Raptors. If you trade Scotty Barnes, Toronto will burn, most likely.
I mean, I won't hate if the Lakers get Kyrie Irving. I won't hate it, but won't love it. I think it's kind of convenient. He goes back to LeBron to try to win one.
There's old LeBron memes I saw this morning. I'm like, yep.
He's back at it again.
It's always the Lakers.
Yeah, but maybe we'll do another episode of that if you guys do want to hear any about NBA or anything else. And I guess we'll stick with the program and talk about some NHL news. T-Dog, what we got for today?
Pretty much. We have a little bit of news here before we get into a good recap of the Stanley Cup Finals. A few signings, a few trades, a few hires from the coaching carousel. We can start off with the LA Kings and the Minnesota Wild. The Minnesota Wild had traded Kevin Fiala to the LA Kings in return for Brock Faber, a defenseman, and their 2022 19th overall pick. Now, Fiala gets to the Kings and now is signed for 7 years, $7.875 million per season. What do you think about this?
That's a tough. I think they did go for the right trade though. I think LA did go for the right trade of needing that forward depth, because they got a lot of young pieces, and I guess Kevin Fiala is a really good veteran. It could be decently veteran leadership to that role. I'm not 100% sure how old he is. I thought he was decently old, isn't he?
He should be in his prime, yeah.
Prime. I would say he's prime, and he's been around the block a few times, especially with Nashville. And including the contract, though, I think they paid a little bit too much for
25 years, so he is prime.
Oh, yeah. He is prime. Yeah, I think that's a key piece that LA does need, but I think they paid a little bit too much, in my opinion. He dropped 85 this season, but compared to every other season compatible to his this year, I wouldn't say it wasn't worth 8. I would probably say it's worth 6.5 to almost 7, just because of that really good last season. But career years. Gotta love them.
Yeah, it's always career years. I think LA does win this trade because they are in need of that forward depth, and I think being able to kind of have Fiala and Victor Arvidsson kind of come play with each other again, I think there's going to be a little bit more incentive for players to come to LA now that they see that Fiala got a big contract. So maybe some players might think, hey, maybe I'll get a bit of a pay raise, because LA has the ability to have cap space to overpay a little bit.
Yep.
Fiala was overpaid in my opinion. Yes, he did have about 80 points this season. But I think he's more or less going to be worth more $5 to $6 million per season. But he's going to be a great addition to that depth, and I think LA is in the right direction, and they are going to More Pacific teams, right? When you think Pacific teams are gonna go down, they go up, right?
Nope. Never.
From Minnesota, I guess Brock Faber, right? We can see maybe he slots into a bottom 7, or the 7th D-man slash a two-way kind of, or get like a two-way contract per se.
Yeah.
I guess for cow space reasons, probably why, but ultimately, I do think LA wins this one.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of other trades, just today, another big trade, speaking of Stanley Cup champions and teams and all that, Ryan McDonagh of the Tampa Bay Lightning has been traded to the Nashville Predators in return for Philip Myers and Grant Mishmash. Now, we see a few young players there being dealt there to Tampa Bay, and a bit of a veteran presence there for Nashville. So what do you think about that, good sir?
I think it just shows that Tampa is going off of a cap dump in this situation. Obviously, Ryan McDonagh is one of their older pieces in the lineup for sure. And this gives a lot of more veteran leadership to Nashville. So they're kind of in the right spot of retooling for sure, because they didn't give up a whole lot for Ryan McDonagh. And it looked like, obviously, Tampa was going for another cap dump, and it was a good trade at both ways. I don't see truly a loser, but I would say Nashville did win the trade in the long run.
I like it because Philip Myers should be, he has a lot of promise. So I think it's possible that he could solidify himself to be a decent bottom pair defenseman there as well.
Yeah, fair.
But of course, it'll take a few years and stuff. But yeah, Ryan McDonagh, great for Nashville. It does show that they're not going to take this rebuild or go into this more rebuild or heavy retool. McDonagh is going to be great for veteran presence plus leadership role, and as well as it kind of solidifies their defensive pairs a little bit more too.
Especially when you still have like Roman Josi that probably had a career year as well. That totally defines the defense a little bit more, other than just him. I guess we should keep on the track with Tampa and just move on to their contract.
Pretty much, yeah.
Their next, their signing they just made with Nick Paul. They have signed Nick Paul for 7 years for $3.15 million. Out of the 7 years, adds up to $22 million. Tristan, what do you think of the signing?
I wish Canadian teams could get steals like these.
This is like
just
a holy
crazy
shit steal, bro.
It is literally a long-term. He must really like the palm trees in Florida, hey?
Oh, love
because
them.
A whole 7 years.
7 years in Florida.
And Nick Paul at points in the playoffs was really benefiting Tampa.
He really was. He really was.
Piece? Yeah. What a great piece. When the trade first happened, I'm like, really, I like Matthew Joseph. I thought, he was good body presence. I thought his physicality would play a good role in trying to three-peat a cup. But Nick Paul has showed that. Yeah, he is. That is a great steal. Only $3 million for 7 years. I haven't seen a contract like this in a little bit, but it's great because
great for
Tampa can still mend their third line. Because of course we're already seeing some changes already because of cap problems. But this Nick Paul deal is definitely something that they cannot be too angry about.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about that deal at all. And I like you said, it was a pretty good signing. I thought it was a pretty good signing. We'll also jump over to another signing since we're just going at it. Brock Besser from the Vancouver Canucks. He has signed for 3 years of a total of $19.95 million. And I believe that is $6.75 million, if I'm correct, per year. 6, yeah, I would say that's pretty close, almost 7. Anyways, what do you have to say about this new signing from Vancouver?
I'm glad they keep the core. I know people wanted the Canucks a little bit to change it up a bit. I don't see that. I see what you should do is take what you have and go with it, because I think Vancouver is honestly a few pieces away of becoming decent playoff contenders. That might be pretty controversial. I understand. But Besser is a goal scorer, and he still has the ability, and will most likely score 30 this year. Ultimately for them, I think it's making sure you find some depth pieces on the blue line for sure. But signing Besser is great because it also makes Pettersson happy, and you want to make Pettersson happy.
Yeah, you want to kind of keep that whole young core happy right now.
I mean, it's only 3 years, and you can play around with it a little bit. And I think their biggest thing to deal with now is JT Miller, and I think they're really glad that they don't have to worry about Besser now for a second. They got it done as soon as they can, and I think Besser really does like playing there. So I like it.
I wish that was the same situation with Gaudreau.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when it happens.
We'll talk about that when it happens.
Yeah,
for sure.
I like it.
That's good. That's good to hear. I guess it'll be my turn to say what I gotta say. So with this deal, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think they were gonna sign Brock Besser. I low-key thought they were gonna mess this up somehow. But
it's because we're thinking the Jim Benning era, but there's no Jim Benning era.
There's no more Jim Benning.
Patrick Alvin's an actual legend now, apparently.
Yeah. So honestly, great contract for Besser. Besser's looking like one of those rising young stars for the Vancouver Canucks for years now, and I don't think you're wrong. You could say in probably a couple of years, you could see Vancouver being a true contender again, because like you look at their goaltending problem. Demko is looking like a star already, and he's only been playing in the league 2 years.
Think of it like this: the new goalie superstar tandem, not tandem, but the upcoming superstars in the NHL are going to be Ottinger, Shesterkin, and Demko. There's like the 3 out of the right now.
I just realized you also name dropped the 3 rookies for defensemen as well. I gotta ask you what your forwards are next episode, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I did. Hey?
Yeah, you did, because you dropped Haskinen, Cale Makar, and then Seider.
Yeah, Moritz Seider. Yeah.
Now that you dropped the goalies, now I might have to ask you what your forwards are for rookies next episode. But I like, if you look at even their defense, like you have Quinn Hughes back there. Maybe if you pick up a few more, I can't think of any other defensemen they have that are truly like rookies other than just Quinn Hughes.
The hockey guy, shout out to him. Best YouTube channel out there for hockey, in my opinion. He was talking about how he would love to see. He was saying how he'd love to see Boston take a good look at Andrew Kopp. I would like to see Vancouver. I know he's not the blue line, but I would love to see Vancouver could move around a few pieces and stuff. If you do lose Miller or Garland, you can add a player like that. You know what I mean? And then just kind of keep going on with the depth. But I know that's not blue line. I think that would be a good piece. Defense blue line wise for Vancouver, I don't really know. It's hard when you pay so much for OEL and you pay so much for Tyler Myers.
Oh right.
So that's always a lot to think. The Nate Schmidt thing as well, right? I don't know how I feel about that, right? But I don't know.
That's definitely a discussion for another
We'll see how
day.
free agency goes, right? Because
but Vancouver, you are looking in the right position. You are looking in the right position for being a contender in a couple of years. Hopefully, you guys keep it up, for sure.
There's someone else who they signed, and I'll get back to it.
You'll get back to it.
Think of
can I mention the man that retired from pro hockey?
Yes, we can. Of course.
All right. Yes, this man hasn't played in the NHL for a couple of years, but he just announced his retirement from pro hockey for the rest of his life. After 26 years of play, Pavel Datsyuk from the formerly from your Detroit Red Wings, has retired from pro hockey for life.
It was Jack Rathbone. Yeah. Anyways,
trying to switch topics.
I like the depth player, and will be good because he'll have a bridge contract. He'll be up and down AHL and stuff. So I see positive for Vancouver. Anyways, yes. Pavel Datsyuk, the Magic Man. Those hands, man.
Oh, dude.
He had some hands, man.
I was talking to a buddy the other day about this. Imagine if like McDavid had the skating he does, but had Pavel Datsuk's hands. You know how
him
scared
or Canes, man.
Him or Canes.
McDavid's hands are amazing, but that's true. Like Datsyuk
they could be like to a different level of hands. That's the scary part. And oh my god,
just silky mitts, hey.
Silky mitts. But
what a career for him, eh? Like,
what a career.
He only won the 1 Stanley Cup. Hold on, did he win in 02?
I'm double checking. Sorry, we're kind of rushed.
This is how you know we were very rushed for it today, but Datsyuk.
What a player, though.
What's crazy is he comes from the same teams in like lineup as so many other Hall of Famers.
Oh,
like
wow.
the Detroit Red Wings team, the Hall of Fame line just keeps going on, and that's just going to be in
You
there
want
too.
you want his stats?
Yeah,
So
stats.
he won in 2002 and 2008.
Yeah,
he
so-
has 4 consecutive Lady Byng trophies from 2006, 7, 8, and 9. He's played 953 games played and put up 918 points. God damn.
How many were goals?
Oh, shiza. I also have to go into
yeah.
I was just looking up straight stats at this point.
Yeah, that's a lot. Hey.
I'll go quickly into it.
Go.
Goals.
Yeah.
You're looking at 314 goals with 604 assists, and he had a plus-minus of 250.
Wow, that's a quiet thing about his game was he was able to assist. He was just a lot.
He
We
didn't have
always
a
know about
crazy
his
long
crazy
career
goals,
here.
but no, it wasn't actually. It could have been longer, but I think he just wanted to go home, and I think he played well with like Moscow. But yeah, it's time for him to lace him up. Congrats to him. But he had a great career, and right, he was always one of those players I always tried to pick when I would play like NHL Slapshot or NHL 2K10. All those
filthy.
games.
I love
It
those
was
guys
just-
with 99
And his highlights
DP.
were always crazy. His highlights, so what he could do, like,
Highlight
he
machine.
He literally would have defensemen like go off the field. Like they just, I don't know. He really was a magic man. The magic man, you know.
He would have them off their skates by the end of it. Let's just say that for sure. And Tristan, that's all there is hiring. There are also
a few
hirings.
more. So I guess before we get into the coaching thing, I do want to say here in the Calgary news for say, I want to say a rest in peace here to the Flames organist Willie Jewson, who just passed away on Canada Day there. He was the Flames organist for 38 years, if I'm correct.
Since
So
you say 8 years?
38 years.
Oh, 38. Okay. I thought you said 8 years. I'm like, I don't think that. He's said since 1988.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, so, so a lot of years. Anyways, 34. I can't think of the math right now. But, anyways, what I'm saying is Flames games won't be the same with him. And it's very unfortunate. I hope the family is doing well. But
Rest in peace.
you know what? And that's one thing about the atmosphere. And I think that's why everyone likes going to games, hockey games, is the atmosphere, right? And it's not just
That
the
man
sights, but
brought
it's
it.
the sounds, the smells, it's all that. And one of the things is the sounds. The organ, the way he played it, the way the Flames organ is very different from other places, right? Like, I've been to other NHL arenas. I've only been actually at one other, sorry, but, the ones at Rogers Place does sound different, and all the other ones. So, and he had his own take, and he was really talented at his job, and he really enjoyed it, apparently. And so, he will be dearly missed, and it's just unfortunate because it seems like the Flames alumni and organizations have lost a few this year now, with him and Bearcat Murray.
Yeah, they've
And
lost
King
two
King
legends.
a few years prior too, so.
I think like last year they lost King, and then Bearcat was a few weeks ago, and then another one. I'm such a loss, man.
So
That's such a loss.
Flames games will not be the same without him, and that's very unfortunate. But of course, it's always in our memory, and wish the family all the best there. So rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Anyways, on a lighter side note, though, we have some hirings, things we can laugh at too. So, coaching.
Give me a giggle.
We have a few things here. The San Jose Sharks had fired Bob Bugner and two of their assistant coaches. Now, why didn't they do it at the end of the season? Don't know why. There must have been people think there might be more to it, but I guess they just San Jose wants to go to another direction. I guess retool everything, rebuild everything.
Do you know how long they were coaching with San Jose for?
Bugner was for 2 years, if I'm correct, 2 or 3.
Yeah, fair enough.
Before it was after DeBoer got fired, of course.
Right. Okay.
So you have him.
Yeah, I would say it is smart to go in a different direction. I would say 2 years is a bit short, but I've been looking how San Jose has been lately, and it's kind of like, okay, fair enough. This isn't like a Florida situation where they fire him after a sweep in the second round after having a great season like that. But yeah, I think this was a fair firing on San Jose's part.
Yeah.
Maybe totally different direction though. Maybe they go into a complete retool and rebuild. Like I would see them actually rebuilding right now.
Very much so, yeah. No, I think a few young players, they're in a very weird spot. Yeah, so
Very.
definitely. It's odd, right? Like, because you still have Couture on your team. But he's great because the young players have been said that they love having him. He's a great veteran presence, great leader.
Very underrated player.
But San Jose doesn't have, per se, any superstars, per se.
Eric
right?
Carlson,
Like,
Brett
Carlson,
Burns have died down in the last few years.
which is odd. And what was funny too is when you come to think of it, the whole Evander Kane contract. There's a possibility that's not gonna happen. That probably won't happen, but a possibility that the way the way the contract is laid out,
Yeah.
he still might be San Jose Sharks property.
What?
Isn't that weird, right? So I don't know.
He might be going back to San Jose.
There's no way. There's no way he goes back, right?
No
I don't
way.
think so. But
I don't think Edmonton
it's
signs
a
him
weird
either,
thing. Yeah, it's cap space, right? Like, it's a lot of money. He
So-
is worth the money he will get. 'Cause he's
Probably.
damn good, but it sucks that, like, and I think I find it even, like, Oilers fans, too.
7.
I find Oilers fans, too, like, a lot of them, like, when they're doing their predictions of what the team will look like, Kane's not in there. So I think people are kind of already accepting it. It makes sense, but I don't know. San Jose, we'll see what they do with their coaching, and ultimately, changes are going to be made.
Changes will be made.
Probably in the GM spot, too. So we'll see. San Jose is a weird one, but
San Jose's having their little thing in the closet. Let's just say that.
speaking of other coaching stuff, we'll go to the Bruins here. They have hired Jim Montgomery. So this is not really out of the coaching carousel, per se, but it's new, and I've heard some good and bad things. It's just, I still can't believe they fired Bruce Cassidy.
We've been on this for 3 episodes.
that's what I've
Like,
been
why'd you
saying.
fire Bruce Cassidy, man? Just like downgrade. It's a downgrade. First of all, it is.
I don't get it.
Like, I don't get it. Like, what is Jim's background in sports? Do you know? Could you search that up quick? By chance?
Like, of course he coached. So he coached for like the Stars, right?
All right.
So didn't have too much of a crazy series, but ultimately, I don't have too much. Like, I guess funny enough with Dallas, right? They also had other things that happened with their coaching stuff, but
Yeah. Excuse me.
spent 2 seasons as an assistant with the Blues and was fired by the Stars in 2019, citing unprofessional conduct. Early 2020, this is an article by TSN, by the way, shout out to them. In early 2020, Montgomery called the decision appropriate and wake-up call, announcing he was in rehab facility for alcohol abuse. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Now-
so that's a little too much, but ultimately,
that took a turn.
he has a bit of coaching, whatever. So that's good. Well, him getting hired would mean that, of course, he's been he passed.
Well,
and
yeah,
everything.
I
So
would assume so,
good
too.
for him. That's awesome. Great to hear that. But you know what? Not the craziest record, but ultimately, there might be some positive there, right? Him being so. I don't really can't say too much about it, but
I have to give it a C-. It is a downgrade of a great coach because, like, Boston had a great coach and they got rid of him and added kind of a decently experienced coach that might have a winning record, I think, because, like, what, he lasted two seasons, right?
yeah, Montgomery with the Stars. Yes.
Yeah, he lasted 2 seasons and got fired for different reasons, but, like, it's a downgrade, but it's not a terrible downgrade.
We'll see.
I guess we'll have to see what he does. I don't have much to say.
It seemed like the Bruins were really trying to find people that would utilize like their offensive power. So maybe Montgomery's more of that kind of offensive-minded coach, which would be good for their players, especially with this being Bergeron's most likely last year as a Bruin, or even in this career.
You think he retires after this?
I don't know. I don't even want to think about that until it happens. It'll be weird, man. Once Bergeron retires, and I'm gonna really start feeling like, like we've gone through, like almost like a generation now of hockey, right? For our age, which is crazy to think, but. I think we'll see. It depends on how the season goes.
Fair enough.
Speaking of like Dallas, how we were talking about, so they fire Rick Bowness. Now Rick Bowness is going to be the coach of the Winnipeg Jets. People think this might be his kind of final standoff because Bowness coached the first Winnipeg Jets, so the Arizona Coyotes franchise. Yeah. And if I'm correct, he is from Winnipeg or from the Manitoba area. So
much for that
fitting.
Barry Trotz talk.
In my opinion, I'll just kind of go on my opinion quickly.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just don't. I think his coaching style is old school. I know that's such a dumb excuse, but maybe it works. We'll see. I think it would have been better if they somehow got Trotz, but you know what? It's veteran. It's a veteran coach, so he might be able to push some players and get a little bit more out of them.
Fair enough. On this one, I would probably have to give it like a straight B. as a grade for a coach?
He's from New Brunswick, but...
Oh, he's from New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew he's Canadian, but he's from New Brunswick, but I guess the tie would be because of the old Winnipeg organization that he coached for a few games. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so restarting at this point. I got to give this grade a B. It's not obviously Barry Trotz, but it is a very experienced veteran coach that is going with a retooling team, and his play is kind of older, but it did bring Dallas pretty far. And I would say, would you say that Winnipeg has a bit more caliber than Dallas to a sense?
I would say so because the team
it's
has...
close.
Well, it's funny. I was thinking... my head went right to goaltending for some reason.
Yeah, mine too.
Hellebuck, but... I would say they're in a similar situation, but I feel Winnipeg still has the edge on offensive power.
Yeah. It's close. It's close.
They're actually in a very similar situation, both those teams, hey?
Yeah.
Maybe the similarity... I mean, it's not that... It's just Dallas' style of hockey is boring.
Very.
And that's why we kind of think about it, but we'll see how it goes with Winnipeg. Ultimately, I think Winnipeg just needs to forget the 2018 season ever happened and just...
move on.
Because it seems like they're trying to hold on to it. But at the same time, it's like you have Scheifele and Hellebuck saying they want to stay. So you can't do a full rebuild.
No.
I don't know. They're in a weird
retool.
spot, but we'll see how it goes.
A lot of people think they're going to retool, so that's what it said on the polls, at least, when we posted about it. And I think that's all the news we have for today. And we're going to move over to the main event. It is the Stanley Cup Finals. Okay. We got some stats for you.
Let's timestamp this right now. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Right. The Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, you know,
6-game series, or ended in 6 games, per se.
4-2.
Ultimately, I guess we'll say our opinions here.
Wow, what a series. Wow,
this is a great
what
series.
a
It really
series.
was.
This is probably one of the better Stanley Cup Finals I've watched because every game was pretty back and forth.
Well, definitely my favorite since the Blues one. I love the Blues series to how close they were.
Except Game 2. Game 2 was just killing by Colorado.
That was the whole only touchdown. That was a whole football game.
Yeah, that was just it was literally just a whole touchdown.
This is what happens when Tua doesn't have the ball to throw to anyone.
He won't reach that far. He has Tyreek Hill now, but he won't reach that far.
No. Why do we go after the Dolphins, hey?
Because they haven't been good since Dan Marino.
I love their jerseys.
Their jerseys are so sick,
cool,
but that's it. All right, back to the NHL.
Dolphins with football helmets, hey?
Yep. Dolphins.
That's sick.
Football. They actually took it off of their new logo.
I know. I'm like,
dude, you could have made that look sick.
Whatever.
Anyways, back to the Stanley Cup Finals. The only game I really had an issue with was Game 2, but every other game was back and forth and tons of OT. And it was what you wanted for a Stanley Cup Finals. 100%. The only thing you were missing out of that whole finals was at the very ending where no one booed Gary Bettman. That was the only thing I missed.
Why he got COVID? It's unfortunate that he got sick when that had to happen.
Oh, gee. He got sick at a convenient timing. Oh, no.
Also, that poor Stanley Cup. It's been dented.
They abused the crap out of it as soon as they got it.
The keeper of the cup might actually have a heart attack because of what the Avs were doing. I saw videos of them bench pressing the thing outside of a club, dude. They are literally pulling Washington Capitals type party right now.
Well, because
right now.
There was the one guy who dropped it on the ice when they were taking the crowd
and that was
photo.
Abe Kubel.
Yeah. Oh, there was funny TikTok. I saw a girlfriend post when your boyfriend drops the Stanley Cup in the first 5 minutes you get it. She made a funny TikTok off of that. So shout out to whoever that.
Oh, his girlfriend.
Yeah, his girlfriend made a TikTok about it. So whoever I don't know who it is, but shout out to her.
It was Nick Abe Kubel.
Yeah, his girlfriend posted about it, so that was funny. Then there was another post of, did you see the guy lifting it and he lost his balance? Oh my god, you guys meme the crap out of when it's summertime with the Stanley Cup. Just memes upon memes are made, and I love it.
It's not gonna survive. And then the cup got lost when it was trying to go to Landeskog, went to a whole nother person's address. What is happening?
Did you see the photo of when it was everyone ordered McDonald's and then it was just a Stanley Cup on the right, just sitting big ass table, McDonald's all to the left, Stanley Cup.
Okay, I actually did not. I'll be honest.
Oh, really?
I did not see it. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to check that out. Actually, I'm gonna find it.
People were posting about it. It was like, I don't know why this is funny, but it's just like so funny that they just have like McDonald's, like skip the dishes, McDelivery, McDonald's right beside like this Lord Stanley himself.
Yeah, and then it's just like
so out of the nowhere. But yeah, this has been a great start to the summer with Stanley Cup. But congrats to the Avalanche, first one since 2001, and my prediction was right. I said in 7, but I got them right, not the games. So I don't know who truly takes sweepstakes and predictions, but
Well, I was wrong. Right about the games, wrong about the team. So I
yeah, you were.
You win because I was right about the games, not the team, man. It don't matter, but
maybe next time we'll do a score sheet and keep up the numbers on it. That would be cool, actually, if we just do that next time.
We'll have to.
Lots of ideas from
We'll play it like golf, right?
Yes.
I would not be on par.
No,
not at all.
Wouldn't either.
Just like when I play golf in real life, I would not be on par.
No, never.
Unfortunate.
Never. Actually, Tristan, I was going to ask you this question about the finals. Was there any players that truly stood out to you the most in this series? Was there come on, give me some crazy stats here. Give me some.
Well, of course we're gonna have the one player win the Conn Smythe. I'll get to him later, but I really gotta say, and I don't know, people piss me off about this. Why are people not giving the credit to Kemper when it's deserved? Like, people are, but not as many as if Vasilevsky won the Cup this year with Tampa. This is how I see it. Kemper had a 908 save percentage, okay? Tampa Bay, of course, Colorado was a better team in majority of the games, right? They just played better. They outperformed them. But Kemper will still have to make a lot of saves. And Tampa outshot the Avs a lot of the games. Kemper was there, and when he needed to be solid, he was solid.
He was kind of shaky, I think, in the first and maybe the third.
A little bit.
Game, a little bit, but he stood on his head.
But the fact that he was competing against Vasilevsky, that's impressive.
Yeah,
you got to give Kemper credit. I don't care. I know, and he's probably going to be moved, right, because of cap reasons.
After this, I don't know. They might want to keep him.
I heard maybe Washington is possible. I mean, Francouz had a little bit of that. What game was that again? I can't remember.
That was game. I can't remember off the top of my head. That was maybe game 3.
Yeah, I don't know save percentage. Yeah, he was there for a little bit. Yeah. I mean, you don't win. You don't go to the finals and win without Francouz because when Kemper was injured. But I think Kemper deserves some credit because I think he played well. I think he played great.
I think he was kind of like. We had this discussion a little bit in the regular season even about Kemper. He was a lot of people thought he was very quiet, but I'm like, no, this guy had a pretty good season if you look at it.
It's just because, you know what, he doesn't have the hype around like how Grubauer had the hype in Colorado. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true.
And Kemper proved all of us wrong, which is great.
He won a Stanley Cup. Yeah. We don't have one.
Other players too. Okay, this is how I knew they were going to win in 6 when Lehkonen scored. He has scored the amount of game winners Arturi Lehkonen has scored.
Oh my god,
is crazy.
It is nuts. This man won it with Montreal to go to the finals.
Yeah, against Vegas. Yeah,
against Vegas, and was there? Was it just that one and then this one?
I think he actually scored the one when they played at Toronto in the first round. Anyways,
no way.
It was weird. Like, him and Nichushkin are just the two, like, you know how there's always like one or two players on a team that isn't like the all-star but always is the clutch guy in the playoffs? There they are. There's you two.
You know who's another guy in that talk?
Who?
Kadri. Literally has a broken finger, comes back first game, scores in an OT.
That was impressive. I gotta say too, it's on Tampa's side. I liked Andre Palat's game. He had the most points.
He was
in this series, and I think he's playoffs. And there's no way they're gonna let him go.
No way.
I think he's up there with like Stamkos, Hedman, Kucherov, where you're not touching him. Like,
he's a depth piece that you keep.
And I respect it. I've always thought him, and I always thought he was, you know, a very much. I always thought he was what solidified that the depth, why Tampa's so good.
The Tampa depth.
Speak today, holy moly. Let's go to McCarthan as well.
Cale Makar, one of the best defensemen now.
Good. Somehow he had a -4 in the series, but I thought he played. I don't think this was his best series this playoffs, but it was a damn good series. He deserved this Conn Smythe. He really did deserve it.
And the Norris.
And
the Stanley Cup. He led the team in points.
All 3 in 1 year.
There's a reason why I said the next Bobby Orr. But knock on wood for that.
Yeah. Ultimately, yeah. So some players like that. I'll let you say what you have to say about it too.
About everything, I guess.
Anything, yeah. I don't know. It's been a whole week, man.
Yeah, it literally has been a whole week since we did this. We're sorry it's been a week since we got this out. We kind of got busy with life, and that happens. So we decided to make this as quick as we can. And Colorado, well-deserved. Cale Makar, well-deserved, buddy. Three awards like that in 1 year. Wow. And just amazing. That's why I had to say that you're going to probably be one of the best in this league. Nathan MacKinnon finally winning a cup. Heck yeah, good for him.
Well deserved, man.
Well deserved.
That's a leader right there.
That's a true leader.
Him and Landeskog.
Landeskog too. He was so happy to finally win it. Darcy, like Kemper, you said, very underrated goaltender in this league. Gotta love to see players like that, or especially goaltenders that are that quiet, then just shut up everyone. Love those kind of guys. And that's an end. Do you think that's okay? Now I got a question for you. Do you think that's an end of an era for Cups with Tampa?
These two teams are going to be battling for a spot in the Stanley Cup Finals for the next 3 or 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
Tampa is weird because we've already seen a few changes and stuff, and they're going to keep their changing their team, but of course their core will stay the same as long as it can possibly be. I can see Tampa. I can see Tampa, man. They could go back to the finals. Actually, they could.
Do you see Tampa completing 3 cups and technically making a dynasty in the next year?
I really do think it's possible. It's going to be really tough because I bet you Colorado comes back in the same position in the next few years too.
I could see a round 2.
But if Tampa does win, let's just say they win next year, it's a dynasty, right?
Well, yeah.
4 years of Stanley Cup final appearances straight. So.
Like we said before, Chicago technically did it. Pittsburgh, we were 50-50 on Pittsburgh. But Chicago did do it because they were separate years, and people say they're a dynasty. So they did get their 3 cups after all. So there is a possibility. And I think we've said our last words on the Stanley Cup Finals, I believe, eh?
Well, I want to say some things, too, though.
All right, go ahead.
It's also really nice seeing players who win it, who deserve it, like veteran players. Mm-hmm. So Eric Johnson was the biggest story as well.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really cool.
I heard about that.
Because he had a lot of injuries, too, and so he didn't really want to play, or he didn't know if he was going to play. So 1 more year, this was awesome. I also want to say, too, and I love this, who won it was Andrew Cogliano. So Andrew Cogliano had the Ironman streak. If you don't know that, the Ironman streak means like the longest you've played without any suspensions, injuries, any of that. Like you never missed a game. His Ironman streak was diminished because he got suspended. And I remember seeing that suspension, he didn't deserve it, I'll be honest. I thought he should have got a fine, but his poor Ironman streak was kind of BS. It was the way it ended up. Now, I love it because I remember as a kid when I would watch the Oilers, right? Like, of course, I'm not an Oilers fan, but my dad's an Oilers fan, right? So, watching the Oilers, I remember Cogliano being on that team. And I just remember, like, always sticking out. So I think it's really cool to see that his perseverance and dedication to the sport and his team has paid off. And I think that's awesome. Because he, of course, was in the finals, too, with Dallas as well. But so I think that was really cool. Yeah, it was a great series. Colorado, like I said, was a better team. Tampa, man, Kucherov and Hedman, they need to perform better in a lot of those games as well, I think.
They do.
And so I found that Stamkos, to me, was like if there was an MVP, say Tampa Bay won the cup, Stamkos or Vasilevsky are going to be the two that I would say take it home that year.
That's fair.
And I think that's the biggest thing, but yeah, Colorado won, well-deserved. I could definitely see. Do you think this is possible next year? These two teams going back? You know how like Pittsburgh, Detroit did it? 08, 09?
You're asking me. Oh my God!
I think it's very possible.
Okay, it's possible, but I think only one of them does. I think only one does.
That's what my head kind of.
I feel like one of them has a very controversial turn, and I don't know why, but I don't think it is Colorado. But hey, I guess we'll never know until next season, right? And also, one thing I gotta mention: Patrick Maroon is finally cupless for the first time in 3 years in the summer. He won it with St. Louis. He won it twice with Tampa. And he's like, it's not going to be the same without you. And we're all like, damn.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Damn.
Oh,
well, I hope he has a good summer overall. He has a lot of money.
I was just laughing because I'm just thinking, like, the fact that Pat Maroon has 3 straight cups.
He could have had 4. He could have had 4 straight cups. You know how crazy that would have been?
Man, it's just funny because, like, he's not a player. No offense to him, but he's not a player that you're like, wow, 3 Stanley Cups. Because who I don't know.
I don't even know what to think about. I don't even know what to say about
funny.
that.
I don't know what else to say, but
all right. Well, I guess I'll
off season it is now.
Off season it is, boys. We will have tons of content hopefully coming out to you about content. 3 days until the NHL entry draft, so we'll probably be also doing an episode on that. Tons of stuff is going on in the NBA, and tons of stuff is going on in the NFL. We will try our best keeping up with all those stats and keeping up with all those episodes. And I hope you guys did enjoy this. Leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And Tristan, I'll leave it off to you.
All right, I actually have a question for you guys. We can make a poll out of this and for the comments too.
Ooh.
If you're listening to this, who do you draft number 1? Or who goes number 1 overall in this entry draft? Is it Shane Wright or is it Juraj Slafkovsky? All right, I'd like to see because there's a lot of debate between these two. And it's also becoming really not lopsided. It's very 50-50 almost. Some think it's Slafkovsky, some think it's Wright because of just how their performances have been in the last half of their seasons. So I think that'd be something to kind of have a good discussion about. And of course, we will have that discussion for say whether it was deserved or not in the next episode after the draft. But yeah, a lot to think about. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. You can follow us on Instagram, of course, YouTube, Spotify, Buzzsprout, TikTok. We also have a website. You can find us there at puckandstuff.wixsite.com/podcast, where we post our good old podcast and our blogging posts as well if you like writing.
Down in the description.
Yes, sir. But hey, guys, thanks so much for following and everything. I'm struggling with this, but hey, guys, keep on rocking in the free world.
We'll see you in the next one, boys.
Yeah.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Peace.